Hey Ginger Boy, welcome to the Stanley Parable, a game of choices and non-choices, and going against what is right, or what is wrong. And I'm going to sit here in my office. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to sit. Sit in my office and do nothing. Because I can't do anything anymore. Yep. I have shut my door, and that's all I can do. So, let me begin again. There's multiple endings to this game.
Someone was following Stanley. He was sure of it. If he checked over his shoulder now, he would surely catch them. It was only a matter of time.
The dialogue changes pretty much every time you go through the game. And there's different things for everything. Tons of different endings. I'm going to turn off all the computers. Because why not? Why not turn off all the computers? Think you can only do like one input on that one, maybe? But let's stare at door 417. Why is this? I'm not getting dialogue for some reason. And I'm very confused as to why.
When Stanley came to a set of two open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Door on the right sounds good.
This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well.
I do.
Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
Look at those cups.
Truly a room worth admiring.
Cold
It had really
drinks.
been worth the detour after all.
It
Just
is,
to spend a few
definitely.
moments here in this immaculate, beautifully constructed room. Stanley simply stood here, drinking it all in.
And stand here staring at the drinks I wish I could take all in. But might
Yes,
stand here for a little bit.
Really worth it being here in the room. A room so utterly captivating that even though all your co-workers have mysteriously vanished, here you sit looking at these chairs and some paintings. Really worth it.
Yep, very. Extremely worth it. In fact,
At
was
this
that
point,
fuel?
Stanley's obsession with this room bordered on creepy and reflected poorly on his overall personality. It's possible that this is why everyone left.
Of course it is. Why would they not leave?
But at last, he'd had enough of the amazing room and took the first open door on his left to get back to business.
Let's go
And
left.
so he detoured through the maintenance section, walked straight ahead to the opposite door, and got back on track.
Yeah, we'll go. Except we'll go this way. But we can't, because the door is locked. There are things that get locked off to you by taking different directions.
Yet there was not a single person here either.
Nope.
Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
Or go in the broom closet.
Stanley stepped into the broom closet, but there was nothing here, so he turned around and got back on track.
Nope, I'm not leaving. There's duct tape in here and some wrenches. Those are the most
There was
important
nothing here.
things.
No choice to make, no path to follow.
Nope.
Just an empty broom closet.
There's a broom. It's not that empty.
Here.
There's stuff in here. A little bit. Some stuff.
It was baffling that Stanley was still just sitting in the broom closet. He wasn't even doing anything.
Nope.
At least if there was something to interact with, he'd be justified in some way. As it is, he's literally just standing there doing sweet FA.
I am indeed. I'm like typing
Are
on
you
nothingness.
really still in the broom closet? Standing around doing nothing? Why?
Because
Please
I
offer me
can.
some explanation here. I'm genuinely confused.
There's duct tape and wrenches. They're so pretty.
You do realize there's no choice or anything in here, right? If I'd said Stanley walked past the broom closet, at least you would have had a reason for exploring it to find out. But it didn't
Well,
even occur to
maybe.
me, because literally, this closet is of absolutely no significance to the story whatsoever. I never would
So
have thought to mention it.
I'm good. I'm good being in here. It's
Maybe to you,
quiet.
this is somehow its own branching path. Maybe when you go talk about this with your friend, you'll say, "Oh, did you get the broom closet ending? The broom closet ending was my favorite." I hope your friends find this concerning.
Oh, very concerning. Very concerning
Stanley
indeed.
was fat and ugly and really, really stupid.
Oh.
He probably only got the job because of a family connection. That's how
Aw.
stupid he is. That or with drug money. Also, Stanley is addicted to drugs and hookers.
We sit in this corner now. He made fun of me.
Well, I've come to a very definite conclusion about what's going on right now. You're dead.
Maybe.
Got to this broom closet, explored it a bit, and were just about to leave because there's nothing here, when a physical malady of some sort shut down your central nervous system and you collapsed on the keyboard.
Well,
In
not
a
quite.
situation like this, the responsible thing is to alert someone nearby so as to ensure that your body is taken care of before it begins to decompose. Hello? Anyone who happens to be nearby? The person at this computer is dead. He or she has fallen prey to any number of your countless human physiological vulnerabilities. It's indicative of the long-term sustainability of your species. Please remove their corpse from the area and instruct another human to take their place at the computer, making sure they understand basic first-person video game mechanics and filling them in on the history of narrative tropes in video gaming, so that the irony and insightful commentary of this game is not lost on them. All right, when you've done that, just step out into the hallway.
Nope. I like being in here. This is my favorite ending. My favorite ending indeed. I don't think there is any more to the broom closet. But yeah, the broom closet.
Second player, it's good to have you on board. I guarantee you can't do any work. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Downstairs it is.
But Stanley just couldn't do it. He
Nope.
considered the possibility of facing his boss. Admitting he had left his post during work hours, he might be fired for that. And in such a competitive economy, why had he taken that risk? All because he believed everyone had vanished? His boss would think he was crazy.
Yes,
and then
he would.
something occurred to Stanley. Maybe, he thought to himself, maybe I am crazy. All of my co-workers blinking mysteriously out of existence in a single moment for no reason at all? None of it made any logical sense. And as Stanley pondered this, he began to make other strange observations.
Like everything's repeating.
Why couldn't he see his feet when he looked down? Why did doors close automatically behind him wherever he went? And for that matter, these rooms were starting to look pretty familiar.
It's the same room.
No, Stanley
Over
said
and
to
over
himself,
and
This
over.
is all too strange. This can't be real. And at last, he came to the conclusion that had been on the tip of his tongue. He just hadn't found the words for it. "I'm dreaming!" he yelled. "This is all a dream." Oh, what a relief Stanley felt to have finally found an answer, an explanation. His co-workers weren't actually gone. He wasn't going to lose his job. He wasn't crazy after all. And he thought to himself, I suppose I'll wake up soon. I'll have to go back to my boring real-life job pushing buttons. I may as well enjoy this while I'm still lucid. So, he imagined himself flying and began to gently float above the ground. Then he imagined himself soaring through space on a magical starfield, and it too appeared. It was so much fun, and Stanley marveled that he had still not woken up. How was he remaining so lucid? And then perhaps the strangest question of them all entered Stanley's head. One he was amazed he hadn't asked himself sooner. Why is there a voice in my head dictating everything that I'm doing and thinking? Now the voice was describing itself being considered by Stanley, who found it particularly strange. I'm dreaming about a voice describing me, thinking about how it's describing my thoughts, he thought. And while he thought it all very odd and wondered if this voice spoke to all people in their dreams, the truth was that, of course, this was not a dream. How could it be? Was Stanley simply deceiving himself, believing that if he's asleep he doesn't have to take responsibility for himself? Stanley is as awake right now as he's ever been in his life. Now, hearing the voice speak these words was quite a shock to Stanley. After all, he knew for certain, beyond a doubt, that this was in fact a dream. Did the voice not see him float and make the magical stars just a moment ago? How else would the voice explain all that? This voice was a part of himself too. Surely, if he could just... He would prove it. He would prove that he was in control, that this was a dream. So he closed his eyes gently, and he invited himself to wake up. He felt the cool weight of the blanket on his skin, the press of the mattress on his back, the fresh air of a world outside this one. Let me wake up, he thought to himself. I'm through with this dream. I wish it to be over. Let me go back to my job. Let me continue pushing the buttons. Please, it's all I want. I want my apartment, and my wife, and my job. All I want is my life exactly the way it's always been. My life is normal. I am normal. Everything will be fine. I am okay.
But everything is not okay.
Stanley began screaming. Please, someone wake me up. My name is Stanley. I have a boss. I have an office. I am real. Please, just someone tell me I am real. I must be real. I must be. Can anyone hear my voice? Who am I? Who am I? And everything went black. This is the story of a woman named Mariella. Mariella woke up on a day like any other. She arose, got dressed, gathered her belongings, and walked to her place of work. But on this particular day, her walk was interrupted by the body of a man who had stumbled through town talking and screaming to himself, and then collapsed dead on the sidewalk. And although she would soon turn to go call for an ambulance, for just a few brief moments she considered the strange man. He was obviously crazy. This much she knew. Everyone knows what crazy people look like. And in that moment, she thought to herself how lucky she was to be normal. I am sane. I am in control of my mind. I know what is real and what isn't. It was comforting to think this, and in a certain way, seeing this man made her feel better. But then she remembered the meeting she had scheduled for that day, the very important people whose impressions of her would affect her career, and by extension, the rest of her life. She had no time for this, so it was only a moment that she stood there, staring down at the body. And then she turned and ran.